The walls could soon be closing in on Hunter Biden. Federal agents reportedly believe they have enough evidence to charge the president's son with tax crimes and making a false statement in a gun purchase. Today's New York Post front page charged him already! Exclamation point. Jonathan Turley is a law professor at George Washington University and a Fox News contributor. Jonathan, does it on the outside looking in, it seems like that this was a lead to kind of force the hand of the Justice Department. What do you see happening next?
Well, there's never been a paucity of evidence of criminal conduct by Hunter Biden. There's been a lack of pursuit, a apparent lack of interest in looking at some of these claims. The concern really for some of us is whether this is being pushed by the midterm elections. The Republicans are expected to take over the House. They've announced they're going to investigate the Hunter Biden matter. This could essentially close off that avenue for prosecution by reaching a plea agreement. And so many people are concerned as to whether the full scope of potential criminal conduct is going to be included in this type of indictment. It's hard to tell until we obviously see that indictment about how aggressive this investigation has been. The concern that I have is that one of the crimes that has not been raised is a FARA violation. That deals with the registration of foreign agents. With people like Paul Manafort, the Justice Department went aggressively to prosecute those people who are not registered as foreign agents. Hunter Biden seems to meet that Paul Manafort standard. And if that's not included, it's going to raise a lot of questions, because by not including it, you don't have to ask embarrassing questions about influence peddling that may have generated millions for the Biden family.
Okay, so I want to follow up on that just a little bit, because one of the things that you continually hear, and it's the right answer, is that no one is above the law. We heard this a lot about the Trump Mar-a-Lago raid. Okay, fine, absolutely agreed. On the FARA violations, what would explain that, except for that they just don't want to go there?
Yeah, I don't know. I testified on this in Congress and noted that if the Paul Manafort standard is followed, then Hunter Biden would be indicted.
Yeah.
Mueller, the former special counsel, used this quite aggressively. The Department of Justice has brought charges against people with even less of a prominent role in working for foreign governments. The thing about FARA is that you really can't indict it without indicting that crime without going into the details. What's interesting is that both Hunter Biden and Paul Manafort had these connections with the Ukraine government and possibly working for those foreign interests. There's a lot of similarities. But down that road are a number of difficult questions for President Biden, who has denied all along that he had any knowledge of these foreign dealings.
Even the charges that seem to be on deck or on the table, Jonathan, the tax crimes and then making a false statement related to a gun purchase. Hunter Biden using money that he got from, as the New York Post would call him, a sugar bro or kind of a sugar friend, this attorney out in California. He paid off the tax debt, said to be north of $2 million. And then there's another report that he, if there is a plea deal, will not plead to a felony related to the gun charge, which it's typically a felony. Look at Kodak Black, the rapper down in Florida. So how do you see this playing out? Will it be a plea where he does no time, potentially?
Well, that's the concern among critics. As you know, I've been saying for over 2 years that a special counsel should have been appointed in this case. I don't even know what plausible argument you can make at this point for refusing that type of appointment, but Merrick Garland has refused. There is no way to look into some of these violations, particularly the FARA violations, without stumbling over the president repeatedly referenced in these emails. So the concern is that after refusing to appoint a special counsel, they could cut a plea deal that closes off prosecution, possibly without jail time or meaningful jail time, so that when you go towards the 2024 election, the president can say that this matter has now been addressed. Now, obviously, the House is going to be investigating this if the Republicans take control. But if the prosecutors have already reached a plea agreement, they could just throw up their hands and say, whatever you found, this matter is now closed. And we have a plea agreement, a global agreement with Hunter Biden. He pled, and we consider the matter to be closed at this point.
Jonathan Turley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.